Alright, hello everyone and welcome back. This is, of course, once again, the FSS Challenge Week number 9 Silver Playoffs. We've got the finals coming up. I am, of course, Imagine. With me once more is Shinkarex, who has been gracious enough to fill in today for Sir Morty. Shink, thank you very much for being here, of course, and taking time out from your weekend to do a little bit of casting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. I'm enjoying all of these matches that we've streamed. Every single one of them has been very, very interesting, very edge of my seat here. Very good play from all the teams involved. Of course, we've got the finals here. Both of these teams are going to the gold playoffs, but the winner gets something a little bit special, a prize for winning the silver playoffs.
And maybe we'll have one of the admins drop a little hintaroo of what that is in the chat maybe at some point. Let me see, actually. Okay. Well, that I don't see anything. So maybe if one of the admins of the leagues want to jump a little hint of what that prize might be, that'd be cool. But we are just waiting for these two teams to get ready here. We do have Cake going against Sky Invading Rhinos. Now, these two teams met in Week 2 of the FSS Challenge. They are, of course, both Anvil Division members, and Sky Invading Rhinos took that game, I believe, was 5-3 on Parent and Rumble. However, we have a very different map for them today. It will be on Northern Fjords, which tends to be a lot more spread out, a lot more room to fly around in. Parent and Rumble's got all that debris to hide behind and bump into. Northern Fjords, not so much. It's got a very, very high ceiling to fly around in, so the carronades don't usually end up working all that well because it takes a year and a half to drop anybody to the ground. Of course, I have seen it work a few times, and definitely ways to make that happen, but generally not like the strongest type of ship to bring out there. We are getting, looks like, a Mobula Pyra from the Rhinos and a Goldfish Pyra from the Cake Clan so far.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see, those ship names. Those ship names.
Yeah.
Phelan, we are going to have some discussions about your ship choice.
The viewers and players of Guns of Icarus do tend to like to, let's just say, do a little bit of trolling with some ship names. So it looks like that's going to be happening here.
Yeah, the Zill's Fancy Truck and Chink's Fault. I think I'm going to have a long discussion with Phelan after this, definitely. But it is definitely going to be interesting. The Mobula is definitely going to be probably going to play a crucial part here. That's a ship that's very kill first, then repair, and then you've got, the Goldfish Pirate. Maybe we're going to see something along the lines of Cake trying to rush things, maybe. Just based off the ships here, and then you see Sir kind of just sit back and wait, kind of gameplay here. It'll be interesting, very, very interesting.
Yeah, very much. So now it should be noted that the pastry price still has a carronade on him.
They actually switched to a Huacha.
Oh, okay.
So they are actually playing some mid to short range going on here. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a mobility game for Cake. Now this is Fred the Fifth is actually asking in the chat. This is still just a best of one to my knowledge.
Yes, it should be just a best of one. If we had a best of 3, we'd be going for hours here, guys, and I think we're just gonna do a best of 1, and throw caution into wind and just have at it, guys. Of course, once again, these two teams already moving forward into the gold playoffs. This is just for pride. This is for fun.
Absolutely, yeah, and this is one of those things where this is why it was very good to be seeded into the gold playoffs. The gold playoffs is a best of 3 playoff round, I do believe. So,
yep. Yeah, you don't have to go through here and go through several matches with best of 1s and make sure that because best of 1 really anything can happen. In best of 3, generally the team that chooses their strats and plays better will win. In a best of 1 though, just you know, does somebody from the other team accidentally hit a building? You know, like that sort of thing can completely turn a game around.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting to see some people ready. We're going to get into the match here sometime soon. This is Northern Fjords, a very, very high flight ceiling here. So if Cake had brought the Blenderfish, they wouldn't be as effective as they would be on, say, Canyon Ambush as they were. It's definitely going to see some high flying, some low flying, a lot of different hard cover here, a lot of different places that these teams can get into hard cover, get zone out enemies, kill some people. It's going to be a great match. I can definitely start to see that now. So let's get into the loadouts here as soon as we get loaded in here, and we will.
Let's see here. All right, so on the troll naming ships of the Sky Invading Rhinos, we've got the Mentrio flying the Zill's fancy truck. It is a Mobula. It's got flamethrower carronade on the bottom. It's got Artemis and Artemis on the top decks, and a Mercury up at the very top. And on the Shink's Fault, we've got the good old tried and true Metamidion Gatling mortar with Phalon captaining that ship, and also a carronade and flare gun on the side.
All right, on the pastry prize, as spots have been thrown and shots being fired, we've got James T. Kirk with a Hwacha front, flamethrower port, and a Gatling gun starboard. On the Gomez, we are still getting, I mean, shots are just raining in. Shink's Fault is charging in. I will get to the loadout after this engage. Shink's Fault.
Gomez is losing his balloon, so at least Shink's Fault is escaping out of those front arcs of the Gomez. Zill's fancy truck is going to come on in and keep on firing at the Gomez, who is taking a lot of damage here. Shink's Fault is getting extremely disabled here by the pastry prize, but it's going to be very hard to finish him off, as Zill's fancy truck is now taken after the Gomez, who's trying to run around and avoid all this damage that Mobula's front guns can throw out with those double Artemis and that Merc, knocking all sorts of stuff out. Shink's Fault, in the meantime, is just getting absolutely bomb-blasted here by the pastry prize, just getting component after component knocked down, and now armor is down. Will they be able to swing around to the front? Not quite. That armor's back up. Gomez, however, getting chased around by the fancy truck, using that side to try to flame the fancy truck around a little bit. But now that Mobula's behind him, is going to just do a little bit of bump here, and there's not a whole lot of times that you see Mobula's ramming Pyramidians there, Shink.
That's absolutely true. This is definitely a first here. The Gomez did do a very good job zoning the Zill's fancy truck out there. Pastry Prize is using his Hwacha and his Gatling side to try to strip the Shink's Fault's ship down. The Gomez is actually trying to ram Zill's fancy truck. But
they did get their front guns turned around, but Shink's Fault in the meantime gets taken down by the pastry prize. However, Zill's fancy truck is still going at it with the Gomez. Now armor is down once more. Will they be able to finish them off? Yes, they do. So we got a 1-1 tie.
Yeah, that was a very, very interesting engage. We still have spotted. I'm going to be surprised to see what happens here. The Zill's fancy truck doesn't have a greatest acceleration, but I mean, all those guns. Hwacha Barrage missing a lot of those shots. I would have liked to have seen it staggered a little bit.
And Hwachas actually aren't the most effective against Mobulas either. All of those components are really, really spread out, so it's going to be a little bit hard to knock out a significant set of components. But Zill's fancy truck, I think, just stood around here for way too long. They should have been backing up that entire time. The Gomez has spawned back in. It looks like they still have that Artemis and what's that? Mercury up front. However, Pastry Prize has gotten ahead of himself as well, and now Shink's Fault is coming up from behind and is catching that ship just fully from the back as mortars come raining in, but it's not able to get the Pastry Prize down actually.
No, it is not. The Pastry Prize has been. Oh, here we go.
And getting him now.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, he is.
Yeah, there we go.
Just at the end there, the Pastry Prize getting taken down. You never want to show your rear to a Gatling mortar pyro. Now the Gomez is coming on in from behind the fancy truck. Are we actually going to get another trade of kills here? As the Gomez is running into the fancy truck continually, still using that explosive Artemis to take out permanent damage. But Shink's Fault has actually turned around quickly enough. Armor is down on the Gomez, but so many of those mortars just flying wide.
Yeah, that's going to cost them though. That little bit of hull destruct that they could have used, and that could have killed the Gomez right there. But no, these mortar shots are missing. They need to. That mortar gunner needs to shape up. That whole armor is.
Might just be able to get it this time around. As the Gomez is still alive. Oh my God! They just managed to stay alive.
There we go.
But too much sustained fire here by the red team, and so we've got a 3-1 lead for the Sky Invading Rhinos. That looked like it would almost be once going to trade. But Shink's Fault just managed to swing back around in time. Now Pastry Prize has got to be careful as those guns, especially on the fancy truck. Well, actually, both of these ships, they can take out that Hwacha in a heartbeat. Between 2 Mercuries and 3 Artemis, that front gun on that Pastry Prize does not stand much of a chance.
Yeah, Cake really needs to regroup here because they're in a whole heck of a trouble. But the Gomez has decided.
It's actually spawned behind the fancy truck, and that's not a terrible place to spawn, as he is getting full-on shots on the Zill's fancy truck. Now, Shink's Fault is actually charging in on the Pastry Prize, gets a nice ram on him, and it looks like that front gun is actually taken out. Pastry Prize actually going to back on in. Oh, this is a terrible place to back into, as that armor is down, but they will avoid actually the charge from the Shink's Fault because it did get knocked down instead of just straight, and Shink's Fault in that charge has actually thrown off arcs from themselves, so that's a little bit of reprieve there by the Pastry Prize. That could have just been absolute death. Oh, huge ram coming in here by the Gomez, getting the Shink's Fault, trying to ram him back into those rocks, but not able to pin them as well as they would have wanted to. However, they are getting into the back of the Shink's Fault now.
They are, and that flamer is going to work. Hopefully it can start disabling some of those guns. Everything is on fire on Shink's Fault.
And Pastry Prize getting flamed himself, but they do manage to take out Shink's Fault just in time. Pastry Prize is all sorts of on fire. They have all their candles lit, and their balloon is down, and they're just going to start dragging along the back here. But Fancy Truck has got to be careful because he's a Mobula facing down a Pyramidion, and that Pyramidion is just going to continue coming on forward. Pastry Prize gets his balloon back up with it before any sort of more catastrophic damage does get done to it. Gomez is still facing down the Fancy Truck.
He is turning the wrong way. Pastry Prize, don't turn that way. Turn around. You could have gotten a nice watch barrage in there. Looks like he still has the option. He's just taking the long way around. 360 no scope here, guys. 360 no scope.
Yeah, he's just flipping himself around, but he is getting carinated all over the place. Barely manages to get that balloon back up in time, and Zill's Fancy Truck is... You know what? I will say Zill's Fancy Truck is staying alive like a true champ. It is giving Shink's Fault enough time to try to get back in here. I thought for sure that Zill's Fancy Truck was just going to get charged and obliterated by the Gomez, but... not so. The Shink's Fault is now coming back on the Gomez, who flips around almost immediately. Is going to try to face the dual fire between these two ships. And there's a huge ram on the Gomez, taking out all the armor. Will those mortar shots connect? No, a few of them do, but just not quite enough. Now Pastry Prize turning around, trying to get shots onto the Shink's Fault. Fancy Truck and Pastry Prize shooting flamers up at each other a little bit here as well. And this is just absolute chaos, Shink.
This is just going insane. All this flame, all this fire. The Cake is not coming out on top, though. Unfortunately, their whole health is very dangerously low.
Do get every single component on the Shink's Fault is now disabled. There's not everything working. Well, now they get a few repairs, of course, but that was an exceedingly nice, exceptionally nice watch of fire there by the Pastry Prize.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see Sir start focusing down somebody.
Shink's Fault
getting
losing his armor.
Destroyed. Is it going to go down?
Not quite, and there's just fire going everywhere. There's shots going everywhere. I don't even know who's hitting who anymore. I don't know who's trying to focus on who. It's hard to keep up with all the destructs. Looks like Zill's Fancy Truck is hurting the most currently, having lost his balloon and armor. But the Gomez is actually staring down Shink's Fault, but no. Oh, the Shink's Fault didn't have, gets his front guns knocked out. The ram is all he's got at this point.
It looks like Pastry Prize is moving up, trying to focus down Chink's Fault with the Gomez. He's also... Oh, wait, no. He's turning on the Zill's fancy truck. He was using that Gatling to strip that armor. Let's see if he can get a shot out.
And now Chink's Fault has got finally his front guns back up. And oh my god, they just take out the Gomez incredibly quickly there. It's a 4-2 lead here for the Sky Invading Rhinos. Can the Pastry Prize make something happen? Will the Gomez respawn in an ideal location? A ram going off to Zill's fancy truck, but that hurts the Pastry Prize as much as anybody else. And oh my god, if that ram had actually connected, the Pastry Prize would have blown himself up hitting into the Zill's fancy truck. So it's almost a good thing that for them that they missed that ram there. And now Pastry Prize with just a sliver of hull left here. Zill's fancy truck now getting focused down on by the Gomez as well. Chink's Fault, however, coming in from the side of the clouds here, and down goes Zill's fancy truck, but they have a side beat onto the Pastry Prize. That armor is down. Will they get the final shots? Yes, they do. And the Sky Invading Rhinos will take a 5-3 victory here over the Cake team, winning the silver playoffs. And oh my, what an exciting set of matches we had here today, Shink, and that just tops all of them.
Absolutely. That was grade A work from both teams. All teams involved here had spectacular games. It was never a surefire thing for any of these teams. I was very, very impressed with everybody involved. I'm congratulating Sir for their victory here. I gotta talk to them about their ship names, but their victory was amazing. Cake did an exceptionally good job with everybody involved. I'm very happy with what has happened.